Hello, my American friends. If you're sitting right now with your morning coffee in Texas, or riding the subway in New York, or in Minnesota after that terrible incident, listen up carefully. Today we're talking about what Trump calls the largest deportation operation in American history. The White House is shouting, an overwhelming majority of Americans support this. And I'm going to tell you straight, that's a lie. And right now, I'm going to break it down for you step by step with facts, comparing his first term to this one, and showing you just how much Trump himself has changed, both politically and physically. Picture this, a regular American morning in a family in Chicago. Dad, a Mexican without papers, worked construction for 12 years, paid taxes, 2 kids who are U.S. citizens. At 6 a.m., the door gets kicked in. ICE agents in masks, rifles. The kids scream, "Daddy." Mom is in tears. An hour later, he's already on a bus to a detention center. And at that exact moment, Trump is golfing and tweeting, "We're making America great again." Friends, this isn't a Hollywood movie. This is the reality of February 2026. And the White House claims 60 to 70% of Americans approve. But hold on, we'll dig into the numbers in a minute. Get comfortable, because this is going to hurt. Hit subscribe and like if you want the truth, not propaganda. Let's start with what's happening right now. According to the Department of Homeland Security's own data as of January 2026, they've deported over 675,000 people and claim another 2.2 million self-deported. That adds up to almost 3 million. Sounds like a win? Here's what independent sources say. The Migration Policy Institute in January 2026 reported actual interior deportations are much lower, around 600,000, and a huge chunk of that is just people turned away at the border. Self-deportation is mostly their imagination. There's almost no hard evidence. Reuters and CBS News confirm only 14% of those arrested by ICE in the first year of the second term had violent criminal convictions. 74% of people in detention centers have zero criminal record at all. Trump promised, first the worst of the worst, rapists, murderers, MS-13 members. But in practice, agents are stopping people on the street based on skin color, checking supermarkets, schools, hospitals. The 287G program, where local police get ICE powers, exploded to 1,412 agreements across 40 states. That's 10 times more than before. In Minnesota, after those tragic shootings of U.S. citizens, Alex Preddy and Renee Good, support for the policy dropped to 46%. NPR PBS Marist poll from February 2026, 65% of Americans say ICE has gone too far. New York Times Siena, 63% disapprove of ICE actions. Yet the White House keeps saying the majority supports us. Who's lying? Let's compare it to the first term. Remember 2017 to 2021? Trump promised the wall, mass deportations, zero tolerance. And what happened? Over 4 years, about 2 million removals. But the vast majority were at the border, not inside the country. Interior removals averaged around 400 a day. Family separations happened, yes. That horrific zero tolerance in 2018 separated 5,500 children from parents. But courts, Congress, even some Republicans put on the brakes. Trump back then still tried to negotiate a little. Stephen Miller was there, but he didn't have total control. Promised 1 million deportations a year, never even got close to half. Then COVID in 2020 basically froze everything. And you know what? Even then, a lot of his supporters said, okay, criminals, yes, but not everybody. Now, second term, 2025-2026. This is a completely different game. From day one, 38 executive orders on immigration in the first year alone, 10 times more than the entire first term. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, $170 billion for deportations. Detention centers expanded threefold. Mandatory detention without bond for millions. Expedited removal without court hearings. Third country deportations. Venezuelans sent to El Salvador. Iranians sent who knows where they've never been, for $1 million per person, according to Reuters. National Guard and even Marines in cities. Raids in Los Angeles, Chicago, Minneapolis. Thousands arrested in a single week. ICE arrests up fourfold, street-level arrests up 11-fold. What's the difference? In the first term, Trump still played the deal maker, tried to look tough but fair. Now it's pure shock and awe, just like Miller wants. No priorities anymore. All 13.7 million undocumented people are targets. Even college students who criticized him online. Even mothers with breastfeeding babies at check-ins. Why the change? Because Trump now feels absolute power. Republicans in Congress won't stop him. Courts he ignores or stocks with his judges. He's older, angrier, less restrained. The first term, he was still somewhat checked by the 2020 election, impeachments, COVID. Now he thinks, I won. The people chose me for this, so I can do anything. And that's dangerous, friends. Now the most painful part. The consequences. Economic Policy Institute. If we deport 4 million over 4 years, 2.6 million American-born workers lose their jobs. Construction, minus 861,000 jobs for locals. Childcare, 500,000. Prices rise by 9%. Brookings, negative net migration in 2025 for the first time in 50 years. GDP down 0.4%. Farms in California and Florida are already complaining. No one to pick the crops. Restaurants, logistics, chaos. And taxes? Undocumented immigrants paid $580 billion a year, including $26 billion into Social Security they'll never collect. Now the pension fund is even deeper in the hole. Humanitarian side. Horror. ACLU, Human Rights Watch, record deaths in detention centers in 2025. Families torn apart worse than in 2018. U.S. citizen children dumped in shelters. U.S. citizens wrongly detained. ProPublica confirmed 170 cases. In Minnesota, ICE agents shot and killed 2 American citizens. And Trump says softer touch? No, that's propaganda. Reuters, deporting to third countries cost taxpayers millions. Polls don't lie. AP NORC, 6 out of 10 say Trump has gone too far. Independents have turned away. Even some Republicans, Politico poll, 1 in 5 Trump voters from 2024 say too aggressive. Support for Trump's immigration policy fell from 51% to 39%. Yet the White House keeps lying about overwhelming majority. Classic propaganda. Repeat the lie often enough, and it becomes truth for your base. My thoughts, friends, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an American who loves this country. Trump in his first term was a chaotic showman. Funny, but dangerous. Now he's become systematic, more authoritarian, less restrained, physically older, but politically harsher. That's dangerous for all of us, because when they start with those without papers, tomorrow they come for unions, for journalists, for anyone who criticizes. The economy will suffer. Families will be ripped apart. And worst of all, we're losing what makes America America. Give me you're tired, you're poor. So America, it's time to wake up. Drop a comment. Do you support mass deportation exactly the way it's happening now? Or do you want priority on actual criminals, not workers? Subscribe, turn on notifications. Next video will break down how much this is costing your state. Share this with your Republican and Democrat friends. Truth will win. Thank you for being with me. Stay safe, stay informed. God bless America. See you next time.